Aloha mai kako. A kamo mai, the curtain call from a distance, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown, and I'm coming to you from my home office, where I have been conscientiously practicing self-isolation. As a member of the Screen Actors Guild, I get the opportunity and privilege of voting for the best of American film, television, and stunts. Over the last few weeks, I have been viewing all of the nominated films and hope to get to the nominated TV as well. This past week, I got to Nomadland, which got a Golden Globe as Best Film Drama and Director, Sound of Metal, and Promising Young Woman. The choice for me on the actress side is clear, but after watching Riz Ahmad's performance as Ruben, the troubled drummer of the heavy metal duo Black Gammon, I'm severely torn. Mr. Ahmad's Ruben loses his hearing. His reaction to this fundamental loss for any musician, but for a drummer it is even worse, is what this film is all about. Like The Father, which takes us into the head of a person with dementia, Sound of Metal takes the audience into hearing, or more accurately, the lack of hearing, of what Ruben is experiencing. Mr. Ahmad goes on a journey of trying to cope with the total loss of hearing. He makes the audience feel what he is going through. Due to the remarkable soundscape created by supervising sound editor Nicholas Becker, who is celebrating his 30th anniversary in cinema sound, Mr. Ahmad's Ruben is initially in denial. He wants to gloss over his hearing loss and tries to convince his professional and romantic partner, Lou, the remarkable Olivia Cooke. Wait till you hear her opening number. Here's a taste.
There's something I want to eat. You told me meat was carnal and cheap.
She is so raw, it's almost painful. He's trying to convince her and himself they can continue their work. He will just watch her and respond accordingly. However, he has a breakdown in the middle of a performance. Lou finds a place for Ruben to go. It's a live-in, multi-generational program to learn to understand how to navigate a world without sound. He also has to do this program on his own and without his fabulous Airstream RV, his phone, or Lou. Joe, Paul Racy, as a Vietnam vet who lost his hearing as the result of explosives during the war and is the leader of the program, tries to get Ruben to appreciate his new tribe and culture. But Ruben is bound and determined to hear again through the miracle of surgery. He conspires to obtain cochlear implant surgery, and this decision impacts everything he does and that happens in the rest of the film. Mr. Ahmad's performance is mesmerizing. His Ruben is so intense his stare could melt steel. You feel as if he is a volcano about to erupt at every moment. The tension he creates is like watching a musician tighten a stringed instrument until it breaks. Miss Cooke's Lou is there for him at every turn, and their love for each other is another complicating element of the story. This is an auspicious feature film directing debut for Darius Marder, who also co-wrote the screenplay and the story. Sound of Metal is on Amazon Prime. Mr. Ahmad is going to give Lord Hopkins a run for his money. Of course, the late Chadwick Boseman may get a sympathy vote, and while his performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was excellent, it is not as good as either Mr. Ahmad or Lord Hopkins. I have still not made up my mind. Nomadland has been piling up awards since it opened in Venice last September. Most recently, the film and its director, writer, and editor, Chloe Zhao, received Golden Globe Awards. Ms. McDormand has been nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Lead Role. The film is the story of the myth of the American dream. Besides losing her husband to cancer, Frances McDormand's Fern has lost not only her job, but her entire town of Empire, Nevada has shut down when U.S. Gypsum moves their operation overseas. She decides to go on the road and thus joins the nomad culture, people with RVs or mobile homes who go from place to place. The film takes place mostly in the Southwest. Remarkably, most of the characters we meet in the film are playing fictionalized versions of themselves, and they are acting for the first time. When you look at these people, you can tell they are not Hollywood types. But the sincerity of their performances and excellence is every bit as convincing as any actor you will ever see. Bob is as close to a leader as you're going to find in this story. He looks like a cross between Santa Claus and Gabby Hayes, but what he thinks borders on the transcendentally profound while employing an extremely mixed metaphor. Fern goes from town to town, working wherever she can get a job. Some of the most amazing scenes take place in one of those sprawling Amazon fulfillment centers. She seems to be able to find work wherever she goes. The film doesn't show how she accomplishes this feat. It just shows her in various jobs in different places. David Strathairn is the other professional actor in this film. His character Dave decides to leave the nomad scene and invites Fern to join him in a beautiful house with his family. In fact, she has more than one offer to remain, but she needs to resolve her issues before she can, if ever, settle down. Nomadland is streaming on Hulu. It is supposed to stream on other networks in the future, but those haven't been settled yet. The other female actor who is in competition with Ms. McDormand is Carey Mulligan for her work as Cassie, a traumatized woman who has devised a unique method of revenge in Promising Young Woman. Ms. Mulligan is that promising young woman. She was top of her medical school class when her best friend there, Nina, is sexually abused at a party, which causes her to commit suicide. Cassie blames herself for not going to the party with Nina and has set out to punish men who take advantage of women who are intoxicated. She pretends she is incapacitatingly drunk and waits to get picked up by a concerned male, which inevitably ends up at his place, with her being plied with yet more intoxicants, and then comes the sexual violation. She suddenly comes to, and in the midst of some form of sexual assault, the fun begins. However, the film does not delve into the danger this gambit could involve until the end. The men in the film are universal jerks, whose misogyny is so acute it makes one ashamed of being male. Their objectification of females is typically selfish unconsciousness. Ms. Mulligan's Cassie is stunning and damaged. She is so competent in her revenge plans, yet she lives with her parents, Clarence Brown and Jennifer Coolidge, both of whom are pretty strange, and their home is straight out of a modernist neoclassical nightmare. Ms. Mulligan's Cassie seems to be going through the motions of being alive and is only really present when she is committing her revenge. Of course, there is romance here, but that gets sabotaged when a hitherto unknown video of the sexual assault of Nina from the party comes into Cassie's possession. Both of these performances, Ms. McDormand's and Ms. Mulligan's, are worthy of the nominations they have received, but none of them compare to the work Vanessa Kirby did in Pieces of a Woman and Olivia Colman, who is inexplicably categorized as a supporting actor, performed in The Father. So when it comes to female actors, I'll be voting for Vanessa Kirby and Olivia Colman. The lead male is still a toss-up between Sir Anthony Hopkins and Riz Ahmad. This is a tough one. Let me know what you think. You can leave messages at my YouTube or on Curtain Call Maui. Well, that's Curtain Call from a Distance for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho.